すごい気配を受けてゾクゾクしてしまって、少し下着がまずいことになってありんすの。このビッチ。
That's right, they made an Overlord Gacha game, and I have to say it's not bad. Your first hour will be mostly going through the story missions, and it really makes you feel like you're watching the anime, since most of the cutscenes are voiced, with well-animated facial expressions, and the graphics are really on point. In fact, I'd say this game has the best facial expressions I've seen in any 3D anime game, so that's really good. The world map is very cute looking. You can walk around, open chests, collect materials, fight enemies, and watch Mare build a wall to keep the illegals out. The graphical design for the locations all look very good and very similar to how the anime looks. You own a mansion where you can collect stamina, dispatch your slaves to collect resources for you, which does include premium currency, standard pulls, and dupe currency, so that's really good. Now, I have yet to unlock the workshop or the bedroom in the mansion, and I won't be unlocking that anytime soon, but I assume the bedroom is where you'll be touching Albedo. Next, we will talk about the combat system. It is a turn-based game where you bring 4 units into combat. The turn order is based on their speed. Each unit has an element with their standard RGB counter triangle plus light beating dark. That said, the multipliers aren't really that high, so unless you are struggling, I find that the elements don't really matter. Each character has a skill tree to level up. Leveling up gives you some skill points, but not enough. You can get more, but it is obtained through PvP and limited to 2 advanced skill points per season. So far, each character has a passive skill, a basic skill, an active skill, and some kind of ultimate skill. The variety in different abilities is quite good. You have units that inflict DLT, you have counter attacks, you have follow-up attacks, you have a variety of debuffs, you can gain shields, you can gain taunts, and you can gain a variety of buffs. And there is a lot of synergy between different characters. For example, this guy gains charges whenever an enemy takes burn damage. So if you bring units that inflict burn in some way, he gets more charges to activate his ability. Or this guy can counterattack an enemy whenever it takes an action, and then this girl, yes that is a girl, can perform a follow-up or chase attack whenever an ally attacks the enemy. So if you combine both of those two, you get a lot more attacks. So this is all great in theory, but in practice, similar to Honkai Star Rail, the vast majority of the game can be brute forced with a single team, ignoring all game mechanics relating to the enemy. Now that is great for casuals, but for players looking for a little bit of challenge, I don't think you'll find it here very often, okay? Now, besides PvP and endgame, there are some resource farming stages that do require you to read the stage buff, but I find that as long as I bring just one of the optimal units, instead of an entire built team, I'm usually okay fighting something at my power level. And for those stages, this game does provide you with both who you should use and includes a very lengthy strategy guide for the boss. A non-casual game I don't think would include this information, unless you lost like 10 times in a row. So this game is targeting the casual market, and that's fine. For relics, you can equip up to 4 and only 3 pieces are needed to activate the effect. You will know what kind of substats you will get before upgrading the relic, so the only RNG for upgrading would be the value, so I think that's really good. There are light cones in this game, each character equips 1, and you get them mostly from the light cone banner. So then let's talk about the banners. It works basically the same as Honkai Star Rail. there is a limited character and light-cone banner, and there is a 50-50. Now there is something slightly scummy here. There is a newbie banner that lets you choose one of the standard characters. But the question here is, why is it already expiring? The game just came out, and the pity is not shared with the standard banner or the limited banner. So if you wasted pulls here and it disappears, you just wasted all of your pity and you'll feel like an idiot. So I think that's dumb, okay? Now for buying stuff, there's a lot of stuff here to buy, okay? And you'll be clicking for hours to collect a couple stellar jades. The prices for the premium currency is slightly higher than typical, and 198 premium currency converts to 1 pull. 198. Very specific number, okay? Now looking at the store, the best thing to buy in theory would be the lifetime pass. But a lifetime pass means you might play the game longer than you would have normally played, and that increases the odds of you spending more. But as long as you have some self-restraint, I believe it's the best bang for the buck, obviously. I mean, the escort down the road is a better bang, but regardless. Now this game has one of the most interesting features I have seen in any gacha game by far. You know how most games have a leaderboard for who's the best at PvP? Well, this game has a leaderboard for who spent the most on the server. God damn! All leaderboards in gacha games, no matter what it is for, it could be for PvP, who dealt the most damage, who got the highest score, who finished in the fastest time, regardless, at its fundamental core, all of those leaderboards are ultimately who spent the most, okay? This game does not tiptoe on this. It just lays that fact out on the main home screen, and I respect that 100%. And also keep in mind, this is a licensed IP game, and based on my experience, they are usually stingy after a few months because they can be. When you have an IP, you don't need the player to like the developer or the game that much. They are here for the Overlord IP and are pulling for the Overlord characters. If they don't give the player any resources, they'll probably spend to get their favorite character. So I have a very good prediction here. The first limited character is Albedo in a maid outfit, so therefore, logically speaking, the majority of the limited banners will be Albedo in different outfits. Bunny suit, swimsuit, wedding dress, whatever, you name it, different outfits. I am 100% confident that will be the case, and if they do that, why even give out resources? There's no reason to, okay? So overall, I think this game is very good for the story content. If you love Overlord, just play the game every once in a while when there is new story content. But I don't think there is any reason to spend that much money in this game. You'll likely be playing this game mostly on full auto anyways, so from a gameplay perspective, missing a bunch of characters I don't think really matters. And I think the story is the strongest selling point in this game, because I think it'll survive, and since it's literally the anime in game form. What happens when we reach the end of the last season of the anime? Does it keep going? I'm actually very curious about that, and I think other people are as well. And that's Overlord. Peace.